check this out. Hopefully you can hear me with a bit of luck. So let's hold on. Let's get myself all organized in the background. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Right, boom, there we go. Right, hello. Hello, Michael. How are you doing? Hopefully you can hear me. Give us a nod if you can hear me okay. At least I assume that you should be able to at least. Everything's on or here. Streaming is so complicated. I have too many buttons to press, so... Okay, good. So I wasn't really going to be streaming today. 1 second, I'm just going to put the aircon on. Hang on. Yeah, so I wasn't actually planning on streaming today. But I'm sitting here writing music for Horizon stuff anyway, so I kind of thought, I've only been doing this for about an hour or so. So I thought, right, I may as well just jump on and, just do my stuff as I always have to. And it's fun. So what am I doing? Well, I am doing, we've just done a real analog expansion, not yet available. It'll be available soon. So I'm just finishing off all the sounds and things like that, and so just doing the demo tracks for it. And so I'm just having some fun, just putting down some analog ambient vibes, So say I've just kind of just started something really, and I just want to just carry on and just sort of go through it. It's a bit messy at the moment, but I have only just started really, so there's lots of things to fix and to fill, but I'm just kind of getting the building blocks down, sort of thing, and just kind of going from there really. So, just happy days. But yeah, so we've done this real analog pack. So we've taken, real analog synths and basically magically made them from, CS80s and Junos and stuff like that, and then put them into Horizon. But natively as well, no samples required. So, it's quite amazing, really. What you can do with a good coding under the hood with our synth. So it can replicate a lot of the imperfections, let's say, of what the old analog synths do. So, so it's all good at the moment. So I'm hoping that I can even be able to hear music myself. So hold on. Let me just move everything around. So with a bit of luck, let's see. Hopefully you could hear that, right? I mean, I've got here that it's transmitting audio, so I just don't know anymore with this system. I mean, I did put this on loop back. Yeah, holler if you can hear it. Otherwise, I'm preaching to an empty world, so to speak. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Michael, for being my little spotter. I think I'm just streaming to you alone at the moment, so I'm just going to do what I've got to do. So, feel free to stop me and ask questions along the way, because, it's going to be a writing session. So not my normal kind of let's go through Horizon streams, but you're going to see a lot of Horizon because that's what we're doing. So, it's just about making analog vibes. And as always, I've got no idea what I'm doing. I just sat here an hour ago and just doing bits and pieces. So, it is what it is. So I'm just about to do a second part all the way over here. which is like a string section for this analog stuff. So I'm going to do that next, I think. So I want to get rid of this. And then I want, where's Horizon gone? Oh, it's on my other screen. So what I want to do is find a sound that I want, which is, it's a huge pack as well. We've got 100 presets on hand. I'm going to use the Shiny New Crazy Diamond pad. If you're a Pink Floyd fan, you'll recognize this sound. So I want to use that in here somewhere. So I mean, that's such a spot on sound for Pink Floyd, I'm not gonna lie. You know, so my chat's all the way over this side of the screen, so I'm trying to read it. So the EQ frequencies, honestly, I don't run anything, like, really, honestly, I don't. It's just it's what you're hearing at the moment is pure raw. It's just directly from Horizon out to you. There's nothing on here. It's absolutely nothing. I mean, I've got loads of stuff on my master bus, but nothing at the moment is running. See, here's my output chain over here, and it's all turned off. So the only thing I've got on here is an SSL meter, which is basically just to measure my limits. That's it. Otherwise, there's nothing going on at all. It's just, so I'm not sure what to say there, really. I'd love to be able to say to you, oh, by the way, it's this. It's just, I say, maybe it's a combination of the Bell mothership plus the Neve desk itself. Obviously, that has a sound. But, you know, I don't know what to tell you, really, because I don't have anything to share there. I wish I could. I wish I could say, hey, Michael, this is how I do things. But it's not. So, you know. So, yeah. All right, I need a couple of chords from what I've got going on. So... I need something really simple here because I don't want it to be too wish-washy. So, but I might want to go down to here. So I'm just working out chords and stuff, so bear with me. That's what I'll use, I think. Okay, let me just copy over these for a second. Just because this is in the section I want it to start at. I will play the rest of the track in a moment. I just wanted to get this down while it's in my head, so I don't want this. That needs to carry on. Let me do it for that measure. Okay, so I think I remember what I just played, but I'll find out. Okay, that was not the right tempo what I wanted, so I can just adjust that really. So what I think I'll do is change this over a little bit. I've got 2 bars though, 2 bars short. Okay. Alright, let's make these. Start here, I'll extend this. It's a bit slower than what I wanted, but that's okay. And then this can, oops. As long as I got that constant E is all I want. So, because this will get fleshed out in a minute. So I've got plans. There's loads of automation to do because that's what you do in analog. So just to recap where I'm at right now. So then it will go off into that whole. It will go off into that whole new section. However, that lead I'm not happy with, so I'm going to mute that for now. I'll work on that, and that is to build up to this section. So maybe I can just have it because I like that end here. And then there'll be a big, just here, just there, with lots of aftertouch as the leading note. So, and then from there there'll be a load of bottom end, and the track will kind of get lively. So that's what I want to do next. But I need a good lead section to take me there. So I can worry about the lead section after. I'm not really concerned about that yet. I just put this down as marker. So I'm going to mute that for now. Or will I? Actually, I'm just going to turn it down. Just because it helps me focus on what I need to change. Michael, the reason probably why you're thinking that is because if I write stuff, I always EQ and stuff on the way. So what do I mean by that? Well, look at some of these synths. It's like, for example, anything that, like this ARP, right? It's got this EQ shape on it. So all I've done is just taken out the kind of the low end, right? Which is why obviously it sounds, you know, not muddy, because I take care of frequencies along the way. I've not done it for everything yet, so some things are still clashing. And then the dotted note, which is just a constant. Again, the same thing. Actually, that one I'm just running a filter on it, really, just to give constant movement. That's exactly the same thing. And these are just sound effects from Horizon. Just kind of just ear candy. Like these are just, again, more ear candy because that's what analog is. Yeah, this one again, I think is, this is running some more low end. Got rid of the low end, I'm sorry, just high pass filters really. And then the lead at the end is doing the same thing. So yeah, just basically just kind of taking care of business really. Just make sure that the track doesn't get all muddied up, because you don't want too many low frequencies and mid-range frequencies coming through. Like on the contrary, I have not done anything in the middle section yet, because say this is so fresh, I was just kind of just sitting here doing it. So so it's all very raw at the moment, but it's far from being mixed, let's say. You know, you kind of, I like to write as I go on, and then just EQ things here and there. And then, you know, after you kind of loosely do it, and then once you've got all the parts together, then you can kind of start mixing it and making it sound properly and making everything sound bigger and better and louder and wider and, you know, the normal kind of thing that you would do. So, but I'm nowhere near that stage yet. I'm still at the writing, but I just wanted to just have a constant progression of this. So yeah, it's just about now finding some stuff to fit in this middle part. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to work on this end section, because this is where the real bass line comes in. So that's what I'm going to do. So I might want to take the bass line that I used earlier. So, and literally just do an 80s ripoff. So maybe like that. Maybe that as an arpeggiator might work as well, but don't know yet. So we'll have to figure that out. But I do want, but this bass that I used earlier might not be appropriate. I might need to use a different one, but I'm just going to kind of just chug along with it and just, you know, just see what I can kind of do with it. But I do want that cheesy line. Oh, one thing I do want to have before I start is just a one shot and a kick. No. Okay, let's choose. I don't want it too subby. Okay, none of those are particularly that great. So let me move on to drum one shots, kicks. Let's do retro. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. Oh. I think this one. I like that. Okay, let's use this. Let's make a new track. Let's see the timing. Yeah, it's good timing. So just want that 4 to the floor scenario going on, and then we'll add a load of percussion stuff later as we go along. So I've got to remember that the change is 2 bars, not 1 bar. I keep on doing 2 bars there, so it's either that or I change that last chord. Because that's my kind of melody line. That's my hook, but that will come in later. But first, it's just kind of getting that, you know what I mean? So I want to just, I'm going to put something down and then just play with it, I think. So let's just do that. Okay, a bit loose. Oops, a daisy. Don't do that. Let's do it 16th notes. See, I was late to the party, so I need to change just here. Wait, is it 41? Hold on a minute. Yeah, 41. Okay, so I changed it 41, so I don't know what I'm doing all the way up here. So let's delete this. And then we'll bring this back because I like that little ditty. Down, bam, 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 and then into here. I can copy that across. Yeah, then that concludes. Okay, so 43, I then go up. So I played. So now I've got to. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll put this here. Then I'll delete these. And copy these over. Do I want to go? Yeah, I do. And then I was off by a note. So all of these can now move over. Whoops, there we go. Okay, this note, a little dotted one. Move those up one. But it needs to be here. And then onto that A. Not sure about this little bit here yet. Add that note in. Okay. So, well, we have it. But whether I keep it yet, I don't know. But we're running with it. See, this is where the lead will come in. So I'm just going to now see whether something will kind of work here with the lead. So I'm going to push these out the way because I quite like this sound I had. Just it didn't suit the start part, you know what I mean? So the whole point of this is to change the rhythm section and the analog part so that lead can kind of be expressive and go into a new section. So, and it doesn't really work by itself unless, unless it's ready to work, if that makes sense. So those sounds can be thrown in. And then, yeah, some kind of lead line here, I think, as of what I will do yet, I don't know. I might even change the chords a little bit. I'm not necessarily sold on that. because I had a melody and it's now going out of that. Ah, such a beautiful sound. It's like so Moog, you know? But so analog. Woo. Gotta love it. Sounds like this, you just want to crank them, you know? So, yeah, it's good. Right. Let's just see what works. I'm just going to fiddle. So, and see what kind of happens. Okay, I'm going to change the chords. Not happy with those, so I think I want... It's just because it breaks my flow. So this E, I want to go back. What do I want though? Okay. I'm going to have some diatonic chords. So strange, you know, doubles basically. I wonder whether I can keep the bass the same but keep the constants at the top. Let's see what that will sound like. I mean, we're talking weird chords here, but, you know, and that way the bass can stay the same. Let's see if it will work. Okay, maybe. Let's go back to the lead again. We've got a sticky... There we go. Right. Let's go back to the lead again, and now see if my melody will work from before. So... It would help if I'm on the right synth, wouldn't it? This guy. Right, and again. Okay. That's what I want to get down. So that I need. So I'm going to put that down now. At least the first draft, and then I can then enhance it later. So I'm just going to put that down real quick while it's in my head. Yeah, I like it. Okay, we can organize this a little bit better anyway. But I'm thinking this note, if I could start this maybe on the higher note. Saying that, hang on. What would it sound like on the start and the higher? No, I don't like it too high. It's not as a starting note. So because I want it to build up to that. So all of this is trash now. So let's see what happens. Like if I just noodle over this first bit here. I'll have to play an octave lower then. Because that needs to be the entry note for this new string section, right? This cable is really annoying, I'm not gonna lie, it really is. So anyway, let's just see if that will work. So okay, it does. So now I need something being introduced in this section then on the keys, on that sound, to take me to that note. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And now we're going to play with this, because this is a double measure. So I need something a little bit more laid back. A little bit melodic. That might kind of work. I like that if the volume was down, or maybe even an octave lower. Let's see that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to put something down for that, and now I'm going to turn that section down when it comes to... Oh dear, excuse me. Right, let's do it. that little run at the end, which will then just hopefully take me into that first note, which is the A in this case, and then just sync it. But I did do something wrong, but needless to say, I can fix that now. I played the wrong note. Because, you know, we're all human, right? Oh, dearie me, what happened then? So let me grab this, and we'll press the magic button, because we do that. Okay, so that was right. Then it was here. I went to the wrong note. Let me see what's going on. So where did I start? Okay, C and F. Yeah, that should have stayed. Oh, dearie me. That needs to stay here. That's the wrong one. And then it goes to the B. And then to the A. So these are right. These are wrong. That is A and B. Yeah. No. G and A. And down to the G. Okay. I didn't know I went to the G. Interesting. Okay, so... Okay, that run is terrible. I'm going to get rid of that, for sure. And... this here... I just want simple. So maybe we can take it from here. E. Just a 2, actually. Just these, right? Because then the next one's the A. No, see, that won't work because I want something cooler. So... Okay, what I'm going to try and do is... is from... from this F, I'm going to try and pitch bend that up. Like, because it's going to go up 2 semitones. So it'd be like kind of up, but at the same time, I want to put some aftertouch on it. So, I mean, I have a load of aftertouch on it, but let's just reset that real quick. So, like that. Yeah, that's much cooler. I like that. Bearing in mind, this would be down in the mix a little bit more, and some of the low end taken out. So what I'll have to do is duplicate this track. Ba-dump, thank you. And then, because I've got a main lead and then I've got a secondary lead. So this would then run into this. All right. Now this guy Yeah, in solo it sucks, but whatever. Don't judge me. Okay. Good. Alright, it's got to reset obviously back to normal. Like so. And then I've got all these, and by the time I have some kind of effects in there to take me there, it will be good. Now I do want to EQ this guy because it's a little bit dark in terms of EQ, so I just want to take out some of the muddiness of here. So because I want to make the main one here have a little bit of brightness to it, so when they join, okay, I couldn't hear anything then, so that lead needs to be right higher in volume. Right, now we've got a problem with these strings because they're slow attack. So what I'm going to have to do is bring them back a bar here. So they come in before, so they're already at full velocity. I'll fade that in later on. So, right, now I want some candy and bits and pieces. So I'm not satisfied yet on this bass line, so I'm going to look at a new one. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but maybe not. Now, I do want maybe... yeah, what are these? See, that something big and boomy at the bottom will be a good idea as well. Okay, that needs filtering as well. So much cleaner. Right, so I've now got elements I can mess with. I still want to revisit the start bit here because that's just a little bit empty right now and none of it kind of gels particularly. So it's just a matter of now getting all the parts written, and then I can then throw things around and take things away, obviously, and have some fun with stuff. But I don't want to go too 80s on this. I just want to just go, you know, using 80s as kind of reference and kind of running with it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And it's kind of fun that way. So, audition basses. That's my next port of call. Just bring in another horizon, I guess. And I either want a different sound, or I'm happy with the sound, but it's just not hitting hard enough in terms of bottom end. And the thing is analog stuff is always quite bottom end heavy because, well, they're analog, so they got a lot of weight. So we want to have some weight in the track. And I'm not going to be afraid of it either. So I've just got to find all of the sounds I want. So no, that's the one we're using already. Oh. Let's where are the ones I want? See, that's maybe more appropriate. Or I can use that just to enhance the bass, maybe. So I'll tell you what, let's try that first without changing the bass line. Let me copy this down. So we've now... That pattern won't work with this bass. So all I'll do is just delete these, just so I know what notes I'm playing. And then literally just do this. So that will give me the bottom, the sub, as it were. Maybe I want a couple of extra notes in there. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, trouble is now that's getting in the way of the attack, so I'm going to put this guy on here. Let's try quarter notes with a kick. And then just kind of just sidechain it a little bit. So that makes a huge difference. If I turn it off, it just all of a sudden there's no weight there. I'm going to turn it down a teeny bit. Yeah, that should be enough. All right, that's good. And then we'll have loaded percussion spread out, which will be sick later on, but I'll do that, all that ear candy at the end. Okay, so what am I hearing now? I just heard something what I want to do. Oh yeah, I want some arpeggiation in this middle section here, because then I want to carry it on in between the lead. So that's my next thing I want to do. So let's grab this guy and we'll duplicate that. Another horizon. Right. Just grab that, grab this. Right, let's find some arpeggiation. That's nice, but maybe too aggressive. I don't know. Question mark. No, I'll keep the EQ on. Just because I don't want that bottom end. So, well, I suppose you didn't know until you try it, right? So let me just loop a little bit. Let's loop up to here. Down, bam, 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 bam. Now I've got to try and get myself in time, which is always hilarious. Nah, I didn't think that would work. It was, hey, you know, it was a try. It was just a little bit too much, too aggressive. Too tuneful for this type of thing, as well as very pretty, but just too tuneful. Let's try this one. That one might work. What about the lower thirds? Or a triad? Or octaves? Okay, that's good. I like that. So I'm going to run with this. I think that will work. I think if we follow a chord pattern, actually I've already got the chord pattern here, so I can just use that. That's all I need, really. Let's see what octave that is first. Yeah, that's too low, so that's okay. I might not want it to shift like that, but I don't want the bottom ones. Okay, that's pretty decent. I don't necessarily want it all the way. So now it's just a case of just playing with that a little bit, especially on the mod wheel, and see what we can come up with on that. Towards the end, then we can raise the mod wheel. I think I might want to just make those straight, actually, thinking about it. Because ARPs have a problem to be a problem if not. Lovely, look at all that. It made them all... made them all teeny tiny for me. That was nice, wasn't it? Oh. All right, control. No, see, you can't control click in this thing. Oh, this is annoying. Okay, fine, let's do it like this instead. Really? You can't do multiple of? Well, in that case, then I'm just going to control Z it, because that's just rubbish. Just do it the way I intended it. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I can then copy over that. Goodbye. Done. Group those together. Thank you. Right. Now, I want to get this bit sorted out here and see what I want to do with the modulation. Actually, I can just draw that in, thinking about it. So for this passage worth, let's put that in here. Then I want to keep it quite low, and then just maybe raise it every, say, 2 or so. I'll put a dot here, a dot here, dot here, dot here, here, and here. Yeah, and then it will change. So this one just goes up a tiny bit. This one just a teeny bit more. And this one, again, a teeny bit more. And then this last one needs to go actually in a different direction, because that one needs to go all the way up. So, and then that will then hopefully hit. But what I want is lots of loads of delay on that, like ridiculous amounts, and then control the delay. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Where's horizon? Here. I'm just going to put on the feedback a lot more. That will then that will dot out at the end. See, over here. At least, anyway, I don't know yet because I've not played it. So let's just turn it down because I only want it subtle in the background. Decent, however, that it just went too high at the end, so that's fine. I can just trim that. Then on the second one, it just needs to go up a little bit more. And the third one, a little bit more still. Yeah, that should be right. Otherwise, it was quite nice ticking around. And by the time I've added all the interesting points, that would be kind of nice, I think anyway. So yeah, let's see. I am wondering though whether this pad, this here, this da-da-dum dum da-da-da-dum bam bam. So I'm wondering whether I can take this actually split it in half, and then use that over the news section, question mark. So and something will happen there. Something interesting needs to happen anyway. So yeah, we're getting the elements in, but it's just not flowing at the moment. So, which is unfortunate, but that will come later. So, okay, what do I want to do? So these chords, I kind of like it here. I'm not gonna lie, but I like it, but don't. You see, so. Just silly question. I'm just going to mute those strings. See, I much prefer that chord progression. Does the lead work with solely that chord? It should do. It's in the same scales. Perfect. Okay. So in that case, we're on a winner. So I don't want those strings. Let's see now what this chord progression sounds like with the strings. But the attack's going to be too slow, and I'll have to change the bass line. Yeah. Okay, bass line. Let's select these guys. Let's unmute that. Okay, let's see where we are. So we've got the A, then that goes down to the G. Oh, that G's a little bit low, so I might need to up that. I'll worry about that in a minute. And that, oh yeah. Okay, everything's going to have to be an octave higher. Because that's starting to sound a bit poopy in it. So, well, that one's alright. It's just this bit is... he's got a bit of a low voice. You know what I mean? So, I don't like that. But, you know. These go to the G. These go to here. That should be alright. Okay, let's see what it sounds like. If yuck, that middle bit was horrible. Let's go to the G maybe. I'm overcomplicating it. Don't need to. Maybe like that. Okay. So that's all right. That works now. Now I need to change this over just so I can have the bass back again. So I will get rid of that completely, actually, because I've already got the chords here. I can now just get rid of those. Job done. Make sure this is the right octave. Yeah, I mean, that will work. Just got to extend the notes. So and this is nothing more than just the weight that you get in analog. That's it. So that should work all together now, all those sections. All right. Now, the lead is good, but because I just did it as just a little scratch thing, in other words, it's what I want. But what I've done is when you work something out in analog, all right. I do want to I think this sound needs to have a little bit of a glide to it. I think, anyway. Let me try with a glide. Okay, let's turn it on because they're both voices. Emphasis down a tiny bit. Okay. Let's try that. Okay, that's nicer. That just kind of works. But now I just want to do that for all notes that they butt up against each other. Yes, yes, yes. It's much more analogy. Right. Let's see if that's made a big difference. Yes, it has. A much, much better difference. Okay, right, this kick too loud. Let's turn this down. That's good. Now I'm going to start it from the start again. Okay, good. Still a few things that I've got to sort. This has to come up a little bit more, so I can't hear that end. That has to get automated later. All right. Okay, I like that. So there's quite a lot of it done already. Now, I mean, still loads to do, but you know, I've made a really good start today. So, considering how long have I been streaming for? Okay, an hour. So, it's 2.5 hours, 3 hours work so far. So I reckon to finish this, it will probably take about 6 hours or so. So we're halfway there, at least. but yeah, I'm pleased so far. I mean, it's still a very, very work in progress, but it's like you've got to always, um, push things around. And tomorrow I might come in and just not like some of this at all. But it is just it's all perspective, isn't it? Sometimes in a writing room, you just do so much that half it just doesn't even matter. It's just a mess, if you see what I mean. So it's just a case of just putting things down, liking the ideas enough to put down in the first place, because then it triggers other ideas from it. You know, and that's why I changed the whole second half of this. But we've got elements in there that we need, but sometimes, most of the time, what I like to do is just stack everything together. Like, oh, I've got this idea, and oh, I've got this idea, and you just put them all together. And most of the time I end up just removing everything, like, when it comes to mixing and editing, because you're making everything sound bigger and better. And it's like, you know what, just add more reverb to something to give it some space, or push it back in the mix, or take the reverb off, or whatever it is that you got to do to kind of make it more upfront. And you realize that actually you don't need 16,000 arpeggiators and, 3 bass lines, 15,000 kicks, and tons of percussion and ear candy and stuff like that. But it's just when you write, it's kind of just so minimalistic that you just want to just kind of just jump into it, and just put your ideas down. So I'm going to stop it here and I will carry on. But thanks for those that do want to watch back, and thanks for those tuning in. I do appreciate it. I know it was an off-the-cuff stream and wasn't announced, but I thought I would just do it anyway, because I had to, I've got to just keep on carrying on, right? So I appreciate everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.